Hey everybody, welcome to the new episode of the weekly roundup. I am Nat Daddy, and it is July 20th. So let's jump into the show. We're gonna cover, we got a few books to go over here, and let's jump into it. We got some wrestling stuff to talk about, got some comic book stuff to talk about. That leads right into our sponsors here. 204 Comics, local comic book store in the Winnipeg area. Ashley and Bobby are super guys. If you are local, go to that store. It is awesome. And Primos Wrestling, live also from Winnipeg. We put on events around the province. We've been traveling outside the city a little bit in the summertime and that. But this Friday, we are back in town. We are at the Winnipeg Chinese Cultural Center. That's kind of our stomping ground when we are in town for the Winnipeg shows. Friday at 7 p.m. Do come check it out. We still have some tickets available. Not too many though, because this is shaping up to be quite an amazing card. We have not only the young gun TJ Kanger defending his title against the outlaw Adam Knight. We have the tag team championships being defended. Anarchy is going to be going up against the Toxic Juggernauts, Toxic Tyler James, and Moses Luke there. I think we all know who I'll be rooting for there, although that should be an amazing match. We also have, I believe, we have the match of the debut of the new tag team of Sweet Cheeks, which is No Cheeks and Sweet Bobby Schick, and also a giant six-man tag team as well too. So again, do come check it out. If you can't make it live in person, you can check it out live on TikTok with the Primos Wrestling, and you can also watch it live here on Nat Guys Collectibles because, of course, I'll be there involved with the show and streaming it for your guys' viewing pleasures. Also, like I said, we got lots of shows coming up being summertime and that. We announced a few new shows this week. We got August 5th, we're back in Toulon. It's gonna be a great show there as well. We got Marty Scroll coming in. And the very next day, back in Winnipeg at Pyramid, at the Pyramid Cabaret, got Primos at the Pyramid. Another great show there as well too. So if you do like wrestling and you're looking for some fun this summer, come find one of the Primos events. What else are we a part of here? Well, can't forget we're part of the tags, the Things Are Getting Sketchy group and Things Are Getting Dicey groups. Both groups which are part of affiliated with the Nat Daddy groups. I work with both these guys. Things Are Getting Sketchy is a weekly art show. Off for the summer, they take a summer hiatus. But next Saturday, the 29th, will be one shot for the one night, and we're going to be doing the Kickstarter covers of the few people who got special Kickstarter tier levels. Your art will be doing live on air, and I'll be co-hosting that with Stefan as well. So we got Mike and Hugh and Camilo as well, and I can't remember who else is it. I think that might be it. Maybe a fourth person. I do not remember off the top of my head. And also, things are getting dicey. If anyone's been watching the show lately, you know how silly and fun we like to have with the D&D type of game on Monday nights. They've been a blast lately, so no, check it out if you're a fan of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So it's been a lot of fun there so far. All right, now let's jump into some comic book action. All right, let's jump into the first few covers of the week. There was I had even more covers picked up for covers of the week. So a week where I didn't have as many books to review as say last week, there was plenty of covers to pick for covers of the week. So here are a few that I liked. Couldn't narrow it down to one. Three of the four are kind of all have the same kind of theme. They're all kind of that good girl pinup art. The first two there are both from the Red Sonja #1 that came out this week. The first one is Carla Cohen, and the second one is Jenny Frison art. Two of my favorite artists, and also two of my favorite female artists. And this is for reasons like this. They do great Red Sonja work. One in the end is the Frank Franzetta's Tale of Science and Fantasy, new kind of science fiction and fantasy anthology series that's out, and all the covers and stories there are based on earlier Frank Franzetta's work. So that's a classic picture there of a shark and a kind of this warrior woman in the ocean. Always remember that one. And in the middle there, we have a kind of a new retro homage for San Diego Comic Con this weekend. This is the Titans #1 book that we'll be reviewing a little bit later on. Kind of a solo series of origin stories of some of the main Teen Titans. And this is an Alex Ross version of that original Teen Titans cover that came out many, many years ago. And again, you can only get that one at the San Diego Comic Con, which is going on this weekend. All right. I have a couple of books that I read digitally this week. Everything else I was luckily able enough to get in hand. So let's jump in with some digital stuff. First one of the week is Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder. Just like every other book in Marvel and DC, and even other lines as well, they've started to put out these anthology series of characters, just kind of multiple stories, usually 3 or 4 of them, and they always kind of seem to have a color scheme to them. Usually black, white, and red, sometimes black, white, and blue, just depending on the character. There's currently a black, white, and red one going on with Darth Vader, I believe, as well. So you got 3 stories in here, all different fun stories of Harley Quinn. I enjoy Harley Quinn stories, especially if you don't take them too seriously, which they're not meant to be. This was pretty fun. These books are always great because I think a book, especially if it has artwork, really has like 2 colors, maybe 3 colors. Like that third color is kind of like an accent to the other ones. Is really well done, and this is no exception to that. This is from the Tales of the Titans. It's the Starfire number 1 of 4. It's kind of like I mentioned a little bit earlier. There is, with the Justice League disbanding in the DC universe, the Titans have kind of stepped up to become the main heroes in DC. So this is now kind of the focus on them. So they're having a mini series about all the original members. So this is a kind of a retelling of the origin story of Starfire, of Corey. A Thangorian, is it Thangorian? I think that's what it is. A Thangorian ship crashes on Earth that has, like I said, Thangorian remarks on it, and she recognizes them because that's where she came from. And she goes to investigate, and it kind of brings back all these memories and experiences of when she first landed on the planet. So, if anyone is not familiar with the story of Starfire, that's a good jumping off point. That's all I read for digitally that I want to review for the show. There's lots of other ones I was reading digitally this week as well, like Vigil number 3, which is that 3rd issue of that new series of DC. What else am I reading there? All those Night Terror books. I have a few in the pile here, but all those Night Terror books from DC. I've been, again, quite enjoying that kind of multi-title spanning crossover. But let's get on to the books I have in hand here. All right. Starting off, we have, this is kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Last week they had the release of this Moon Knight 25. We didn't really review it, but I did tell you guys what it was about. It's kind of like a accumulation of all the stuff going on, big anniversary issue. And from that book, this week has spun out this Moon Knight City of the Dead. So I originally thought this was going to be like I was talking with the Night Terror stuff. This was going to be like a Moon Knight crossover event type of thing. But it's not. What it is just a new Moon Knight series, and it has focused a little bit on the past at the moment, and it introduces the new Golden Scarlet, is it Scarlet Scarab? Yeah, Scarlet Scarab character, which we first saw in the Moon Knight TV series that was out, I guess, earlier last spring. So that character does get introduced in this book here. They kind of introduce her in this book as well too, kind of like her original character before she comes, that Scarlet Scarab. So yeah, neat. I do like Moon Knight, so this has been fun as well too. So I know it doesn't get talked about too much, but Moon Knight's a really great series. So if anyone is a Moon Knight fan or you're curious or wondering if it is good, it is good. Check out Moon Knight. Also from Marvel this week, we have a new #1 series starting up. New #1 in the sense it's #1, but in issue it's actually 29 legacy numbering. So we have a new Blade series coming out. This is a fun book so far. I enjoyed it. You have Blade. He's going to he steps into this ritual where he saves this young woman, and in the end, it's actually the opposite. The woman was the one that didn't need saving. It was the other people and that. So he accidentally has let loose this new horror and terror and abomination and evil in the world. And now he's has to go kind of deal with that, and he meets some new people that want to help him do that as well too. So Blade, good book so far. Few new characters introduced in there as well too. This book is just wild and amazing to look at and crazy to read. This is called Shit Kicker and Bullseye. This was actually one of the books I had for cover of the week. So it's amazing art. Kind of has that classic Hollywood movie poster feel to it, and that does correspond kind of with the story here. It's a totally weird story. It's of the world's greatest Hollywood stuntman. He time travels as a like assassin cowboy, and he gets resurrected. I think it says in 1899, and he's gonna do the biggest train robbery heist as all. So again, all kinds of different kind of genres mixed in together, and that lots of crazy nonsense. Definitely for the adult, mature people, content-wise, and like I said, just amazing artwork. I truly, really was just drawn into this just by the cover itself. And the artwork inside is just an amazing artwork too. So very, very realistic. Um, Lots of detail, fine lettering artwork. Do check it out. Shit Kicker and Bullseye. It's kind of the name of the two guys in there. I guess one of them is like you said, is a Hollywood stuntman, travels through time. A lot of weird stuff in there, but fun. And same with this book too, a book I never heard of, but I had a neat, I guess a neat idea or a neat precipice, and I decided to check it out, and I'm happy that I am. The only thing that is unfortunate about this book is from Scout Comics, and it's one of their non-stop titles. And what that means, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody's non-stop titles are they usually put out the first issue and then all the rest of the story, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6 issues or like that, the rest of the volume is actually put out in the collected trade paperback form. I believe that's what it is. So that's the only unfortunate thing about this. But in saying that, I still might pick that up because I quite enjoy this. This is called Death Comes for the Toy Maker, and it's kind of almost like a retelling of Santa Claus and death. You have, as you can see in the cover there, Death comes and rests at the North Pole once a year. He gets a day off in exchange for Santa, who he believes to be Santa, to be immortal in that. So he goes around and Santa does his good list, bad list stuff, but he also has a list of the dead as well. So he has to bring back some dead kids and stuff, their souls in that, as he's going around dropping off gifts and coals in that. As he gets back to the warehouse or the workhouse or whatever you want to call it, Santa's workshop, he kind of gets into a fight with Death up there, and you kind of realize through flashback in that these two have been doing this for eons, millions of years, and they actually started off as not as Santa Claus and his Death, but as Gilgamesh, the old folklore tale of Gilgamesh and like a demon. So they've been doing this thing for millions and millions of years since the beginning of time. Almost like the old Wile E. Coyote and the sheepdog Sam that you see on the old Bugs Bunny cartoons. They kind of clock in and clock out, and doing the job is one thing and off hours is another thing. So interesting look. I quite liked it. And neat artwork in there too. Kind of gives you that Mike Mignola Hellboy artwork type of feel. So. All right. Next book is also from Scout Comics. We have Dust. Kind of a neat book. This book takes place in the future where Jupiter has ignited into flames. So basically, the universe kind of has like two suns now. Obviously, it's cooked our world, and now these people kind of always live inside these giant suits that have to do anything. Everything here has been destroyed in that. So you have this young woman who is out there in the I guess the desert land, the hazards land. She's doing a little bit of stealing from the rich to kind of feed the poor type of thing. And that it's kind of fun. I enjoyed it. It's nothing crazy where it makes you want to definitely run back and check it out on that. But it is a neat book in the sense that it has in a very dystopian future and that. So I did enjoy it. Again, it was just nothing awesome. Has some neat artwork. And, you're very kind of straightforward artwork, nothing too crazy as well too. So have to definitely give the second issue that one a check out just to see where this is going. A little too early to tell on that one, but again, I liked it. What is next on our list here? From the Skyborn Image lineup, that there is the this book here, which I'd never heard of before, but apparently it is a thing. Yeah, a thing where it's from Amazon Audible, a book series, I guess, on there, or property in that, and then now they decided to turn it into a comic book series. So it's called Impact Winter, and this character name is Rook there. And again, he comes across what looks like a woman being attacked by a bunch of people, and he ends up fighting him off to save this woman and that. And he vows to help her get to her land, which I think is Hiberia, but I could be wrong. So they kind of journey there. It takes a long time to get there, and along the way there, they end up falling in love and that. And he ends up finding out that she is looks like to be a vampire, and that's why these people were trying to kill her and that. So he has to come to terms with that. And again, I don't know how much of a property this is on Amazon Audible, if there's a big series this or many books or not, but I do like that. And it's good. I enjoyed this property so far. I enjoyed the artwork. I enjoyed the story in that. It's kind of neat. I liked it. You say good artwork too. So again, if you're a fan of fantasy, this is definitely right up your alley. It's called Impact Winter from Impact Winter Rook from Image Skyborn. And yeah, I guess if you're on Amazon Audible, check out Impact Winter. I think I might look that up now just to see a little bit more about what this is. All right, we have also from Image. This is the Image Millar universe, so all the Mark Millar properties. It's called Big Game, and what it is, it's this is a crossover of all Mark Millar properties. So things like Kick-Ass, The Kingsman, Magic Order, Huck, that new book Nightclub, where it's the kids that are vampires, superheroes, that new one Ambassadors. They all kind of get involved in this story here. Nemesis is in here, and they all have a story where what has happened is that kind of like this evil Illuminati back in the 80s has decided to wipe out all the superheroes all at once, kind of like Legion of Doom style. And since then, the memories of they did that, and all the memories of these heroes have been wiped out and gone. Except now, in the last few years, heroes have been popping up. Heroes like the Kick-Ass guys, heroes like the Kingsman and stuff like that, and the Magic Order. So now this this evil Illuminati kind of group is wants to go and wipe them all out again and wipe everybody's memories and make the world a docile place for them to control. It was all right. I'm familiar with some of the properties from the Millar stuff, and some of them I wasn't. But this seemed to be a good book so far, and it was really great artwork. And yeah, I quite liked it. And we'll see how it spins out into the rest of the Millar characters. Very, very violent. Lots of image books this week. Issue 2 from the Skyborn Image stuff. This is the Kirkman imprint, Void Rivals. Again, you got a neat book. You got two different aliens species that hate each other and always have and don't even remember why anymore type of thing, or always at war. Very much like that Enemy Mine movie. And it made me even think of that, and I went and watched that Enemy Mine movie even lately because of it. That old 80s movie. Where again you have two separate alien soldiers end up crashing on a planet and have to work together to survive to hope they get off the planet. But that's it's a great story and everything, but that's not the reason this book has been hot and a lot of people have interest on it. From also at the same time in this, they have discovered that the Transformers, and soon to be the G.I. Joe characters and properties have spun out of this book, because Image does now have the rights to produce those. So that's what's been the talk of this book. But in this book so far, in the second issue, you did not see any of the Transformers in that. So last issue you did. You saw Jetfire. He flew off once he was kind of woken up to, I guess, go see what Transformers are. A couple more to go, DC stuff. But lastly, from the indie stuff, we have this book called Scrapper, and again from Image. This is a fun book. I don't know if it just seems to be one of those things, kind of like, when certain movies come out, a bunch of movies come out with the same kind of theme, but there've been a lot of dog books lately. Your stray dogs or alpha dogs. There's a couple other ones there too. I can't remember. Oh, Good Boy. All kinds of dog books. And here's another one. This one is nice. I enjoyed it. It has some great artwork. It's called Scrapper. You can have this future, again, this post-apocalyptic metropolitan world where this dog Scrapper and his friend Tank kind of patrol the alleys and the cities at night, just to help ordinary people who are always constantly under attack and threatened, kind of like these Big Brother, Skynet type of government that's going on now. And we find out that Scrapper was a puppy that was found as a stray by a restaurant owner, and he always had this kind of collar on him when he came with it, and it seems like that this collar is somehow connected to, like I said, this evil government agency, and it gives him superpowers as well too. So it's all kind of connected there. Again, kind of some of it's familiar formula-like stuff, but again, a great book so far. And again, I really like the artwork on it a lot more than I thought I was going to. But again, just some very realistic, fun, colorful, and almost kinetic type of artwork where it had to be for the action scenes. So good book so far. Scrapper. All right. Couple more books here, and they are DC ones. I didn't even think we had a multiple book this week. Oh yeah, we did. We had the Moon Knight stuff. All right, from DC, the Dawn of DC, one of the few books that is not involved in the Night Terror stuff. We have number 1/6 limited series. Well, I guess all the ones that are going on are unlimited series. So Hawk Girl number 1. New story starting up with Hawk Girl Kendra Sanders. Good book so far. I enjoyed it. Lots of great art. Kind of just picks up what's going on in the world now. The Justice League again has disbanded. So usually Hawk Girl was somebody that would always associate herself with the team in that. And now she's kind of out doing some stuff on her own, trying to find her own identity. And there's also an introduction of a couple of new villains in here. These villains seem to be somehow connected with, or want to connect with more, and harness the source of the nth metal. And that's the stuff that, of course, Kendra's wings are made out of, and that kind of has those magical scientific properties. And there's some trying to tap into it, kind of like the Speed Force type of thing. So good start there. And like I said, with a lot of these books I've been reviewing from the DC stuff, new characters, first appearances. So never wrong for picking those up for cover price. All right, last couple books here again from DC are the Night Terror stuff. I've been really enjoying those so far. Again, these books both again have first appearances in them. This is Night Terror Superman. So again, the Night Terror stuff is there's this new villain, kind of like this dream god type person named Insomnia, who has managed to put all the people to sleep on the earth, heroes and villains combined, and he's traveling through everybody's nightmares, looking for a stone called the Nightmare Stone that will help him leave the nightmare world and kind of take over all the world, not just nightmares. So we got a story here where Superman is sleeping. He's been involved in his nightmares. Some of his normal type of nightmares where Superman's fear isn't that he's gonna hurt himself type of thing, but let down the people around him. So we got a story of that going on. got a story of introduces kind of like evil versions of Clark and that. So I like this one too. Not as much as I've liked some of the other the Night Terror stuff, but this one's pretty cool as well too. That one's being written by Joshua Williamson, who's doing the main storytelling too. So again, Superman being one of the main people. This one I did enjoy. This is Night Terror's Punchline. This is a super fun one. You got Punchline in there, of course, Dreaming, of course. Her and the Royal Flush Gang are out taking down a big job in that, and they find out that she gets word and information where she can access the tower, the watchtower, where Oracle, the Batgirl, has basically the information base for all the Batman stuff. So she's able to infiltrate that, and when she gets inside, she actually encounters Batgirl, ends up killing Batgirl, and then ends up having like a monster nightmare version of Batgirl come back and have to deal with that as well too. So kind of fun. I enjoyed that so far, and it's neat to see a little bit more, just a little bit more broadening of the Punchline character without having to have the Joker or even Batman involved. So I enjoyed that as well too. All right, and last but not least, got ourselves here a little fun Archie summer size trade paperback, I guess. It says all new Archie classic comics. It says Archie's Friends and Endless Escapes. So a lot of the stuff in here is kind of stuff that's been came out over the last couple of years. Some of the one shots and that. Again, lots of fun here. And I'm not here to review this. I'm here because I reviewed most of the stories in here already when they've come out. But I will be giving this away. So to win this, you have to come to the wrestling show on the 21st. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Winnipeg Chinese Cultural Center. Come check it out. Mustachio is back. We finally found him. He's back from hiding in shame and also an injury. So he's back, and he's going to be there tomorrow night, hopefully supporting his mentors and his bosses there, the Toxic Juggernauts, in that match. But like I said, if you want to get a chance to win this book there tomorrow night, I usually get up into the ring, do a little talking to people, and then I just start giving stuff away. So if you want to take a chance to maybe win something like this, usually a few other things as well too, come check it out. Otherwise, we will see you later on for some more fun shows. I guess tomorrow night at the wrestling show. See you then. Peace.